I think I spoke too soon. Strong magnitude 4 earthquake just shook Los Angeles 50 minutes ago after magnitude 5's struck the Ring of Fire January 1st. This is the second day going into the new year. And as you see the video before this one on the earthquakes, we had 5 magnitudes all around the Ring of Fire from Papua New Guinea, actually starting from New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Japan, Indonesia, Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia, along the Aleutian Islands, Alaska, and 5, all of them hit yesterday, 5 magnitudes plus. And I said, be careful because it looks like something is happening on the Pacific Plate Ring of Fire. And it goes without saying, of course, Hawaii also has earthquakes, the hot spot in the middle of it. Let's take a look together because we had a 4 magnitude earthquake just off of Los Angeles, 50 miles to the west. But this is Los Angeles, Pomona, and this is Santa Cruz Island, Santa Rosa, San Miguel, and this is the area just a couple of kilometers off Port Hunimi, am I pronouncing that properly? And it's just west, about 50 miles west of Los Angeles, right there. And pulling out, this is on the San Andreas Fault. San Andreas Fault, right there. This is the Garlic Fault. This is the area of Ridgecrest, right there, where we had the July earthquake. And this is the Walker Lane Fault system. San Andreas, as we know, takes up 75% of the subduction pressure. And this is the 25% taken up by Walker Lane Fault system. It's not a fault, one fault, it's a series of hundreds of faults. They're finding new ones all the time. This is where Ridgecrest is located, right there. Long Valley Caldera is the very high threat volcano, other high threat volcanoes on the Walker Lane Fault system. And of course, we have Yellowstone over here as well. I'm just referring to that because Ridgecrest earthquakes gave quake swarms to Long Valley Caldera and Yellowstone supervolcano as well, as they did 20 years ago when the last 7.1 earthquake hit Ridgecrest in 1999. And if you go to the USGS page, let's go to Sizewell Berkeley map. This is it right here. I was shocked when I saw this. I had to take a second look. This is the activity that we had January 1st that I reported on a few hours ago. Right? This is it right here. This is a new one as well. Okay, 4.6, but before that we had a 5 point something right there. 5.3 and 5.0 Tonga. And as you can see, they're all 5.1 Micronesia. This one, what was this one? 5.3, that was on the 30th. The blue ones are the past day. 5.1 Alaska, that's the Aleutian Islands. 5.2 Aleutian Islands, Alaska. This must be 4.8 Alaska, Kodiak. And this is what we've come to in the past hour. Now, I have not looked at all of them, but the red ones are the past hour. Let's take off some of them so we can see the bigger ones of the past week. Okay, this one, 3.9, California. We know that, okay, let's go to the details. We know that 583, a couple of minutes ago was 300 something. So they are reporting it, the shaking. Let's go and see. It's just off Long Beach. And let's put the area so that we have a better, you can see the shake map. Okay, that's all of Los Angeles, and Los Angeles, of course. Okay, and let's go to the population density. There you go. Okay, that's Los Angeles right there to the west, to the east of it. That's in the west. Thank goodness it was not on, but they did shake, as you can see. And we know that it's not easy for the shaking there because of the liquefaction that could take place. This thing is full of liquid underneath, and it could turn into things like quicksand, things sinking. And we have had, in April of 2019, a report by the geologists to the developers of buildings, as well as, sorry, let's take that off, developers as well as the officials, the municipalities and the building code, the building department people, that they underestimated the building damage of the San Andreas and faults on the west coast. They underestimated the building damage, in other words, that the buildings would not be able to be sustained in the event of a magnitude 7 earthquake. And that talk took place concerning Portland. We have 3 sections of the west coast, the north, the middle, and the south, that are overdue for big one earthquakes. And the developers were shocked because the geologists told them, you've got to retrofit the existing buildings, which means, millions, if not billions of dollars worth of. And even if you retrofit them, can you retrofit them properly? I mean, even that is somehow still an experimental thing. How do you retrofit a building to make it earthquake proof? And also the new buildings that would be coming up have to be strong enough to withstand a 7 magnitude earthquake in an area that has landfill and can turn into liquefaction. And they were shocked at the price tags that would accompany such retrofitting or new building developments, to the point where the building developers wouldn't even consider building. They would just be out of reach as far as budgets are concerned. And they decided to put off changing the building code. And then that was in April, and then beginning of July, we had the earthquakes in Ridgecrest, reminding them that, this is an area where you can have big earthquakes. You better do something about that. Some universities on the West Coast have announced that they will retrofit their universities in order to save lives in the event of a major earthquake, major being a 7 plus. So this is what we're having now. Besides the past earthquakes around the Wandafuka Gorda Plate, besides the one that we had, a 6.3 off California, north of Vancouver Island, we know that these Vancouver Island earthquakes do release their pressure to the south of California. We saw that right here, Vancouver Island. This is Vancouver Island, Canada. Right there is where we had the Bella Bella earthquake a day before the Ridgecrest hit. And we had a couple of days ago, let's go to the Canadian one. This is it right here, the big one's here, okay, on the 25th, about a week ago. And you can see that the pressure hit in that area again. The pressure hit in that area again around the Garlic Fault, right there. Let's go back, okay. So that's nothing new. That happened again in the year 2015. We had a 6.2 here off the north of the Vancouver Island, and 24 hours later it gave an earthquake in Ridgecrest, about 3.5. But this one here that took place on July 3rd, 6.2, right here again, north of Vancouver Island, 13 hours later gave the 6.4 on July 4th in the morning. And that was the foreshock to the July 5th of 7.1 the next evening. So that coupled with, all the other 5 magnitude quakes that we've had in the Ring of Fire, you have to be very careful now because, these quakes do shake the neighboring faults. We've read about that recently. The nearby faults are affected by strong shaking. So you can imagine the San Andreas South area, Garlic Fault, even the Walkerland Fault system. Let's go back. Let's go see what's happening. with the little smaller quakes. Okay, this is, of course, okay, UTC 1013, and 10:57, about half an hour later. This is half an hour later, after the 4 magnitude, okay? Again, that's about 20 minutes later. And this, of course, is the geysers are always having hundreds of quakes every day. We have the biggest geothermal plant in the world there. And, okay, these are the petrolia also. Okay, we see those all the time. And we have the area around Seattle rocking as well. And these are today's quakes around Yellowstone. Normal background. Okay. This I talked about yesterday. This has to do with the mid-continental ridge, the rift, the mid-continental rift. Lake Superior. Superior was at one time much closer to Yellowstone, to Wyoming. This is the Coenan Fault, and that's splitting up. There's a magma plume under there. They don't know where that's coming from. A magma corridor going like a horse-shaped location. They don't know where that's coming from. It straddles the Great Lakes, and it's been there for the past billion years, and it's splitting America in the middle as well, besides the New Madrid seismic zone that we have here. Going through from the St. Lawrence Seaway, flanking Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, going down New Madrid right there, and down towards Mississippi. That's a real foot rift zone. It should be called New Madrid Rift Valley, and splitting this part of the United States towards the east. And then we have the mid-continental rift, which has a magma body underneath. And of course, that's pushing up the land and rifting it. Okay? That's where we have an increase in earthquakes there. Even Kansas has, if you extrapolate the line down right here, we've got at least 3 ancient volcanoes here. On this area of Kansas, they're diamond-spitting kimberlite volcanoes right there. Okay, so we have to keep an eye out on this. Please be very careful. People have felt it, as we said. 302, no, that's increased. That has increased. 681, okay, all right, 681. And that's off Los Angeles. And I'll leave links below for you for this, and we'll keep an eye on that, what happens later today. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.